I know, guys, I know. Yeah, obviously, if you've seen the previous episode, we experienced a very um, lukewarm ending to our season. We won 108 games and then promptly lost the ALDS in 4 games. So, in some ways, that's good, I guess. In my opinion, for the series, I would really like to maybe just get it to a point where I win one, maybe 2 World Series, and then that might be it, because I don't really see the fun in just having a team that dominates every year and watching that. So even though we, did dominate the regular season, we haven't dominated the postseason yet, that's for sure. So that's still one more sort of mountain to climb. So I just thought I would take this episode. This is going to be our 2021 end of season episode. The 2021 season is officially over. Now this season is over. There's an amazing YouTube video out there, and it's called Hawk Harrelson calling walk-off losses. And if you're lucky, you get a very sad, this ball game is over. And if you're really unlucky, what you get is just absolute silence. You guys gotta check that out. But anyways, this season is over, and we did do a great job. I concur with that. Obviously, we didn't do well in the playoffs, but the regular season was really something. A score of 897. Probably could have gotten that 1,000 perfect score if we had managed to win the World Series, but we didn't, sadly. So we can be proud. It's not you should be proud. It's you can be proud. That's interesting. I certainly can't. I certainly could be proud. I'm certainly not proud just because of how it ended. Let's go see who won the World Series, shall we? Okay, so because I chose to sim until the playoffs end, which was, I guess, a mistake, we don't get the little pretty big, follow along the playoffs thing, but you can see what happened on this screen down here where my mouse is. So it ended up being Cardinals-Indians, with the Cardinals winning 4 games to 1. And yes, they are your World Series champions. Let's see how they did this past year. So they made it as a wild card team. Good for them. Yeah, Alex Reyes, really good for them. I mean, any team where Lance McCullers Jr. is your 5th pitcher, that's a pretty impressive starting pitching staff. They have, a lot of new players. This team isn't particularly recognizable from the old one, but I mean, they have guys like Kimbrel on their team. They have Mark Melanson. They have Mike Moustakas. They have Jonathan Scope, and so on and so forth. They have this guy Juan Guerra, who I guess was an international guy. Okay, and it looked like he had a pretty nice season to me. But yeah, there's your 2021 World Series champion Cardinals. And now we are going to get into some arbitration offers. The first thing we have to do is decide whether we're going to pick up Sonny Gray's team option for next year. It is worth $8.2 million with a $850,000 buyout. We can take a quick look at his numbers here, and we can see that he's been a very good pitcher for us, in my opinion. He's always had his ERA plus over 100. Always keeping his whip pretty low. He's pitched consistent innings for us. I don't know whether Sonny Gray will be in the rotation next year. We could trade him in the offseason. I could definitely see that coming. We have Cody Deason, who's a pretty decent starting pitching prospect coming through the system, and who spent all of last year in AAA. But even then, it certainly makes sense to at least pick up the option for now. So we're going to do that. Thank you, Sonny Gray. You can continue your time with the White Sox for now. Okay, the first arbitration-eligible fellow is Kyle Funkhouser. We could offer up, I think just that small raise to $850 is fine. Then we have Alcantara, who has been extremely good for us the past 2 seasons. He pitched for us in 2019, but maybe he wasn't quite ready for it. But 2020, 2021, he was really good in relief. I'm going to go ahead and actually offer, what kind of money would he want? He would do it for $1.04 million. Okay, I'm just going to do $1 million, and we're going to kind of skip arbitration right there. He should take that. So that has been submitted. Okay, Jace Fry has been extremely good for us the past 2 seasons, which is crazy. But yeah, he's been big time setup guy for us. I do notice that he's fragile now. I'm not sure if he always was. So I'm not super into that, but obviously he deserves some money, and I think he deserves more than 850,000 in this case. He probably deserves more than Alcantara too. I think well, we'll see what kind of money he wants first, obviously. Yeah, see, he'll do it for 980. Wow, is his greed low? His greed is high. Wow. I think he's selling himself a bit short there, given his performance lately, but I'm not going to argue with him, so here we go, 980. Willie Calhoun now, another high greed guy. Obviously, he has been mashing. He has been mashing big time for us. He played first base last year for us. He played DH this year for us. I might see if I can talk him into extension. That might be a good idea. Just to skip some of these RBers. What if I offered him, let me think about this. Alright, we'll see if he'll take an extension like this. This would buy out his first year of free agency. As well as potentially a second with that team option. Would he take that? He said he's happy with the dollar value of the deal, but doesn't want to be... Okay, well then we're just going to arbitrate through this year with you, Willie. I do quite like him as a player. He mashes. I'm going to offer 4-5. I think that's all right with me. We have a good bit of money, but it never hurts to nickel and dime. And then Ian Happ made $6.6 million last year. Played well. Wasn't a superstar, you know, but played well. He wants how much of a raise does he want? What if I met him halfway, and if I offered him like 7.9, would he take that? Let's try that. Okay, let's do 7.9. That's, you know, somewhere in between this offer and his wants, so I think that's all right. Jason Castro is a pending free agent with us. Not going to re-sign him. Corey Guerin is a pending free agent as well. Daniel Norris is he really a pending free agent? I didn't realize that. Huh. Oh shit, I didn't know that. Really? Dang, he's got 6 years. I did not know that. Wow, okay, I was not paying attention. He's probably going to want a lot of money. Yeah, okay. Huh. Fuck, I didn't know that. Well, I guess we know whose spot Deason is going to take next year. Yeah, wow, that just totally snuck up on me. I thought he had at least 1 or 2 more years of arbitration before that, but nope. Just because he wasn't making very much money to begin with us, as you could see from arbitration. That was one thing that had me thinking that. Yeah, I mean, he's been awesome for us the past 2 years, obviously. He was an all-star last year. That's okay. What I'm going to do with Norris, at the very least, is submit the qualifying offer on him so we can, you know, hopefully get some kind of compensation pick. And who knows, if his price declines a lot in free agency, we may still bring him back. And then as for Simmons, just out of curiosity here, he wants a lot of money. He didn't get his big long-term contract last year. How much more was he worth last year? 2.7. Okay. I'll submit the qualifying offer on him too. He may take it, and if so, you know, maybe just trade him away for something. But yeah, I think that one makes sense to do too. I do love a good compensation pick, especially if it's for a guy I don't want that much to begin with. Award season is upon us. Andrelton Simmons grabs a gold glove for us at shortstop. Here are your other winners. In the National League, it looks pretty similar to what it was last year, to be honest. Albert Almora, the former White Sox member, he grabs a gold glove for himself. Wonder how he's doing. Yep, 3.5 win season last year, 100 OPS plus. Pretty impressive for a guy we basically gave away for free because of he was traded in the Matt deal, sadly. So yeah, unfortunate for for Steven Matz there. That deal didn't quite work out for us. In terms of AL reliever of the year, that was Edwin Diaz, who has been nasty in real life this year as well. Yes. Oh, Rex Brothers, interestingly enough, we signed him on a deal once, but didn't really keep him. Traded him pretty quickly. He places fifth. He had a massive year. Okay. Top NL reliever is Corey Knebel. Top AL, well, here are your AL Silver Slugger winners. Blake Rutherford wins a Silver Slugger. Willie Calhoun wins as a DH. Bryce Harper still out there doing Bryce Harper things. Tom and Lindor, the very scary combo in the Indians order, as well as Ramirez, they all won Silver Sluggers. That's pretty terrifying. NL Silver Sluggers, let's see, this Camden Piercy guy, I don't know who he is. I guess he's in the minors now or something. But he won a Silver Slugger. He's a 5-star player. Yikes. Juan Soto doing his thing. Taylor Trammell, who I think was a rookie this year. Yep. Corey Seager. Nick Senzel. Wow, what a year for Nick Senzel. What a player he's become, too. 70 contact. Whew. Okay. Looking awesome. And then, of course, Bellinger was definitely the scariest player in the majors. He had 64 home runs. He was worth 10 WAR. Did he win Triple Crown? He must have been really close on the batting average. That's a Tidwin season for him. He's probably the MVP. As far as your Rookie of the Year, Tom. Okay, I thought it was Gavin Sheets there. I was reading this bit for a second. But Tom is your unanimous winner. I guess, I don't know how he's just using up his rookie eligibility now at age 27, a player that good. I don't really know how that works, but yeah. I mean, obviously he was insane, and his numbers and his ratings are insane. But our guy Gavin Sheets, he grabs second. That's good. And Shea Langeliers actually grabs fifth too, with 1 point. I think Langeliers could honestly compete for MVP next year. I think that's how good he is if his stats come along. Okay, as far as your National League, it is this Camden Piercy guy, the second baseman. I am the winner, or should I say we, perhaps. It's a lot more inclusive. We are the winner of the Manager of the Year. Chicago fans applauded, recognizing how fortunate they were to have Boy at the helm. Boy, if you don't... Okay. And then in the National League, Dave Roberts wins again. I feel like Dave Roberts wins every year. AL Cy Young Award winner is actually Edwin Diaz, so he wins as a relief pitcher with 21 first-place votes. Daniel Norris got votes, or he got 1 point. No one else did that was on the White Sox. Noah Syndergaard is once again your Cy Young Award winner in the National League. He was unanimous. How many has he won now? 2019, 20. Yep, 3 in a row. 3 in a row for him. This year, maybe not quite as dominant as some of the years past, but yeah, he's still pretty terrifying. Okay, and then your AL MVP is Jose Ramirez. Good for him. We had Rutherford finished in 4th. Anyone else there? Yes, Willie Calhoun finished at some place at the bottom with 2 points. But it is Ramirez who wins over Bryce Harper. And then Bellinger is your pretty easy, unanimous NL MVP. And yeah, so there's all your awards for this year. And I guess now it's time to see who the top free agents are. Okay, so we have reached time for arbitration filings, I guess. I think that's what it's called. It's arbitration day for sure. Hearings, thank you. That's what they're called. Willie Calhoun, $4.5 million salary. He wanted that, apparently, even though when we offered him that contract, he was like, nope, I want $9 million after he rejected the long-term deal. So whatever, dude. Funkhouser will get $850, and interestingly enough, Simmons does accept the qualifying offer, which is kind of a bummer. I don't know. I mean, I guess we could use him as like the shortstop for the first 2 weeks of the season, but I'm not sure if I want to do that. I think it may be the right move to trade him away right now. If we do that, would we lose a draft pick, I guess? Let's see if we can trade him away. The qualifying offer was just to see if maybe we could get some sort of compensation pick. I didn't think he'd take it because he wanted the long-term deal, but he did end up taking it. So let's see if we can shop him around, if anyone will take him for 1 year, 15 million. That might be harder than it looks. Okay, we have skipped a day ahead to free agency filings, but now our mission is to see if we can just trade away this 1 year, 15 million Simmons deal. It's going to be a little bit harder than it looks. I don't know why this has to be so hard. He wasn't that bad last year. He was 2.7 wins. It's 1 year. Yikes, that was maybe a risk that was not worth it, you know? Okay, here is our get out of jail Simmons trade that we're just going to go ahead and do. I think I'm going to title this episode my $4.5 million mistake, because that's what we're going to have to eat on that qualifying offer. We're also going to have to trade away Anderson Comas, and he's a rightish minor league outfielder. I mean, not, I don't know what his major league prospects are long term. If he could play center field, he'd be something, but he's just not quite good enough to play a decent center field. So we're going to send him along too, and we're going to get back Gavin Lux in return, and he's just going to be an infielder that I'm probably just going to keep as a kind of quadruple A guy, have him on the 40-man, and, shuffle back and forth between the majors and triple A when he's needed based on who's injured and who's not. So that's the deal I'm going to make. Obviously not happy to eat that money, but whatever. We are taking a look at some of the top free agents right here. One of them is, wow, this is a pretty stacked class actually. Francisco Lindor, Bryce Harper, Michael Conforto, Buster Posey, Anthony Rizzo, Miguel Sano, Daniel Norris, our guy, Esteban Moreno, who is an international guy. He looks really good. Ken Giles, Kyle Schwarber, Tommy Kahnle, Max Scherzer. Interesting, Max Scherzer right there. What's Max Scherzer been up to? Still looks like he's been pitching pretty well. I mean, he's not quite the star he was. Okay. We could be in the market for a starting pitcher. Who knows? Kluber is also a free agent. Wow. So yeah, a lot of good free agents. It looks like. I don't think. How much money do we have right now? We have potentially up to about 19 million we could spend on free agents. So. Not an insane amount of money, but a pretty solid amount of money. I don't know if we're going to target any of those top guys or not, but those are your free agents for now. Okay, guys, so I'm going to do a prospect check-in right now, and then that will be the end of the episode. So let's check in on those prospects. Getting started with Harlan Fion here. He pitched 61 innings in Great Falls, Rookie League Pioneer League. He is Canadian. He was our first round pick last year. He is unhappy. But anyways, he pitched 61 innings. His BABIP was really high. It must be a very offensive league because you take a look at that ERA plus at 101, but that ERA at 6, so... that's one of the reasons why you shouldn't necessarily, always look at ERA to determine how good of a pitcher is doing. And his fielding independent pitching was 5.62, which, I mean, obviously not good, but his FIP minus is 91. So, I don't regret putting him there to start. I think he could probably, make an appearance, start making appearances in A-ball next year. I'm not going to do promotions and demotions just yet because I want to wait the full offseason and see, what happens to their ratings as well. But his stats were good enough for someone to play in A-ball, I think. Josh Wheat, man, this guy really struggled in rookie ball. He had only 87 plate appearances to speak of, but this guy's was our 5th round pick last year, and I don't think he's for this list much longer. But he still, we drafted him for that contact potential and that eye potential. It was a weak draft, and he still is only 18 years old, so give him a little bit more time. But he could very quickly become kind of a non-prospect for us. Our 3rd round pick, Kevin, I will be calling him Bujji, Kevin Bujji, pitched very well in A-ball, all things considered. Didn't really have the strikeouts there, but... a lot of times it takes time for those things to come along. These pitches aren't quite developing yet. I don't think that changeup will develop, but the curveball needs to. Only 2-star potential, not a huge prospect, but I just still followed the first 5 guys I draft in any given draft. Porter Brown was our second round pick. He hit well. So, yeah, he hit 308, got on base 381, and that's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, obviously the draft, I don't know if it was just a weak draft last year or what, but not the greatest collection of players, it seems like. Ignacio Fierro is our big power-hitting international amateur prospect, still with that 75 contact, 80 home run power potential. He was really poor last year, but that's because we brought him up in rookie ball as a 17-year-old. So, he'll have his age 18 season to hopefully tear things up in rookie ball and really start moving up the ladder. One problem is that he is a dick. If you look at his personality, so he is a douchebag for sure. Cole Wagner, a right fielder, 4th-round pick for us. That's pretty awful. Not much to say, and numbers not looking good there either. So, probably not long for this list. Jean Carvajal, who we traded for. What was that trade again? Yeah, Aaron Hicks and Alec Thomas. We traded away. How did Aaron Hicks do this year? Awful. Wow, he was miserable. So I'm kind of glad I traded him then. It wasn't an easy decision to make because of how well he played for us last year. Anyways, Carvajal looks like, he's still got the potential to be a good player. He's obviously going to do more work with the glove than anything, but we had him kind of shuffling back and forth between A-ball and rookie ball last year. He started in A-ball, was terrible, then we moved him down, then we brought him back to A-ball at the end of the year, and he was able to make his A-ball stats respectable. So, don't know really where he starts next year, probably A-ball again, but could be up in A+ pretty soon if he continues to progress. City Pimentel, the shortstop prospect. He was an A+ ball last year. Don't know why. That might have been a really aggressive promotion, but I moved him down to A ball, and so he's just hanging around there. Not a huge prospect for us. Sam Bagwell was our 1st-round pick in 2020. He's still looking like he could be a very solid starting pitcher in this league, and he pitched solid in A+ ball this year, so that was good. I mean, we moved him all the way up from rookie ball to A+ ball pretty fast, so. All things considered, I mean, he started 29 games. ERA was right at 4.1. ERA plus 101. I think he's made a case for himself in AA next year. I like his movement a lot. Let's see what else. James Bell, catching prospect for us. Obviously, hard to get too excited about a catching prospect with Shade Langoliers now up, but James Bell finished in A+. We'll probably start next year in A+ as well. Jared Campbell, I see, finished the year hot. And, we moved him up to A+ ball, for just a guy who was a 5th-round pick in 2020. Obviously doesn't project to be a major league star, but he does project to be a major leaguer, so that's pretty cool for a 5th-round pick. And he's done well, wherever we've sent him, whether that's rookie ball, A plus ball, so pretty impressed with him. Mason Dinneberg, who was our our 1st-round pick in 2018, 4th overall. Not a bad season for sure in AA. All things considered, it wasn't amazing by any means. His ERA plus was 97, but and he walked 5 batters per 9, but it could have been worse too. I think Dinneberg probably projects more as a reliever in the future with this 50 curveball and the stuff that has a lot of potential, but the control that doesn't. But I still think he can be a major league player for us, which is solid because he was really looking like a bust there for a moment, a huge bust for a 4th overall pick. Trent Devoe, our glove first, quick guy, center field prospect, solid enough in AA. I mean, with a guy like Devoe, he can have an 88 OPS plus and still be good. That's kind of his deal. 19 caught stealings though. Yikes, that's pretty bad. But he is an 88 guy. Probably projects to be a utility outfielder or a guy who can be used as a pinch runner as well in some situations. An interesting thing about Devoe too is the fact that he has really good infield rating. So I might try to mess with his player strategy to because I'd like to see him get used in a myriad of positions through the minors if possible. Because that would really help him as a potential utility player for us in the future. But he was in AA. Okay, who am I on to now? Thomas Dillard, who we traded for. He is a one-star catcher already. He's 24 though, but I mean his numbers are really solid. And yeah, the thing with Dillard though is that, and this goes for Bell as well, is that generally I use that backup catcher spot for a captain type, and neither of them are captains. So good to see them coming along, but not sure what the future with the club is. This guy, Joe Gray Jr., let me tell you what, this guy, I mean, it wasn't amazing in AA last year. He was only 100 OPS plus, but he hit 15 home runs, which is really good. That stolen base to caught stealing is mind blowing how awful that is. This guy has a real future, and I don't know if it's with us is the thing. We have Rutherford obviously set to play center for a good bit of time with us with his recent contract extension. This guy could play right field as well, or we could move Rutherford to a corner spot. But this guy, he's a little bit like he's like a not quite as good like Acuna. It's silly to say, but this guy is just, he's fast, and he's extremely fast. He can play center field at a high level. He can play right field at obviously a really high level. He's been playing right field with Devoe playing more center in the minors. I'm fine with that. I don't really care. He's got enough experience at center field. Defensively, as a center fielder, he's probably better than Rutherford, or at least as good. So I don't really know what the move is there. But I mean, he's got 60 home run potential power too. And, he's got 65 gap power, too, with his 75 speed. That's awesome, too. That's going to result into a lot of doubles. So he's got a very bright future. And he's a guy we traded away Abreu for. So I'm glad that, if we're going to trade away a guy like Abreu, that the prospect we got was good. Vancouver was our 2020 second-round pick. He's not nearly as exciting. But actually, you know what? He still is really solid. We've got a lot of outfielders like this who are just really fast, who can play center field, who are solid enough hitters to function. Terrible at AA. We moved him up to AA. He was just god awful, but I probably should have moved him to A+ ball, but I maybe got a little bit too ahead of myself there. But I'll start him in A+ ball next year, I reckon. Don't know why I didn't move him up. I must have just missed it. Blaze Alexander is going to start at shortstop for us next year, 380 OBP in AAA. That's all we're really measuring his success by, because he's not a slugger by any means. But if he gets on base, he gets on base, and he did that. He was worth 3.3 wins in 96 games. He won't be promoted just to start. He'll probably have his 2 weeks or so. It's just so we can get that extra year of team control. Give him the old Chris Bryant treatment. But yeah, and then Decent is the other one. I think he's got a real shot of cracking the rotation, because you look at him, he's 55, 55, 55 with the Arsenal. It's good enough right now. It's not like he was amazing in AAA last year, so we might start him in AAA and just let him, if he starts turning up in AAA, he'll be up real fast and in the rotation probably. We traded, that was a trade with the Cubs. That was the huge trade from last year. Just checking in on everybody right here. So Zach Birdie had a solid year for the Cubs. Maybe not quite as good as the year he had with us in 2020, but a solid year with the Cubs for sure. Frechette is, looking like a decent enough prospect, honestly. Alexo is, Alexo's going to be a star, and we kind of already knew that. How these ratings only qualify to a 2.5 star potential left fielder, I have no idea, because he just looks awesome, and he was 131 OPS plus again in AAA. This guy's gonna be a really good player for the Cubs, I think. But you know what? We got Steele Walker in that trade, who we eventually traded to Colorado. I'm glad he got time in the majors. He looks like he hit pretty well. And then Adbera was awesome for us, and and then Decent's going to be good for us too. So that was a big trade, but we needed, the pitching could help. And then I have Langoliers on this list still, I guess. Gavin Sheets still on this list. Sam Dexter, I just offered him a contract. So that's going to wrap it up for a look at our prospects, and also wrap it up for this episode. I hope it was an exciting one. Obviously, we're on still that playoff come down. And yes, it's we've got a lot of work ahead of us to get back to the playoffs. But hopefully, once we get there, we can actually succeed, and at least hopefully win a playoff series next year. All right. Well, I will see you guys. Peace.